So the creature submissions page is now open for what is going to be the new creature to come to the center when we get to play ARK Survival Ascended. This is very exciting stuff because I've already seen some amazing ideas, and I'll obviously explain to you guys how it's going to be working, but today we are taking a look at something which is number one at the moment, called the Shastasaurus, the giant marine reptile leviathan with submarine saddle. I thought this one sounded really cool, so let's get in with today's video. If you do enjoy it, smash that like button as it supports the channel so much. Subscribe if you're new around here, and let's get in with the video. So as I said, they are open for you to go and vote on or submit your idea. There are already a lot of votes coming in. It's only just been released. As you can see, lots of different ideas. I'll be looking closer at the top 10 as we get towards it. Now, I just want to mention, guys, this is not my creature. This is, like, I don't do my own voting. The reason I don't do my own voting is just because I want to make it as fair as possible. Whenever I do these videos, we're just taking a look at what the top 10 is so far and some of the coolest ones that have been shown. So, and also something I want to mention is when I do my voting, it is in complete privacy. I won't do it in videos just so I don't, it makes it fair to everyone. So let's get in with it. The Shastasaurus giant marine reptile leviathan with submarine saddle. Art once again done by the amazingly talented Risky Biscuits. I mean, that saddle instantly just made me think, what? Like, look at the size of this thing as well compared to a Survivor, with a Therizino and a Pteranodon underwater in the submarine base. So I'm guessing there's a lot of underwater creatures for this I've seen so far, because it is the center, lots of water around there and lots to explore. So we're going to have a look at this one. It's got 248 votes at the moment, topping the top 10. Something I've mentioned in so many videos is that even if you get number one of the top 10, it means nothing. That it means, if you, so let's say you get 10th in the top 10, you could still easily make it into the game. I've seen ones that finished 6th and they won the whole thing. So yeah. Anyway, so Shastasaurus, it's obviously a diet as a carnivore, and let's read all about it. So in the wild, the Shastasaurus is one of the largest ocean dwellers I've ever witnessed on any arcs, rivaling the Lezichthys in terms of sheer mass and being too large for even the mighty giant squid to grab hold of. However, despite its titanic size, and it is incredibly passive, mostly ignoring all other creatures in its vicinity, as very few are a threat to it, with only really focusing on smaller schools of fish which it feeds on. If a threat does arrive though, such as a group of Mosasaurus or Lezichthys, it has a special ability of echolocation and it is able to detect the threat coming from a mile away. Not just that, but it is not just that. Wait, did I get that right? Oh, echolocation is so powerful that it can charge a large sonic blast, with being able to disorientate nearly any hostile, allowing the creature to make a quick getaway. Also, much like its close relative, which is the Itchy, it is very sociable and it's a very social animal living in a tight family unit. However, due to the sheer size of it and its appetite, each member requires an enormous quantity of food, and as a result, the family units must separate to try and find food on their own to avoid competing for food sources. Sadly, due to the family units splitting up to feed, many will never reunite with them and will become incredibly isolated as a result. That's quite emotional. What a poor Shastasaurus. They're just going to end up all on their own. Domesticated. As most Shastasaurus have become isolated and alone due to separating them from their families, it all requires its domesticated one is simple companionship is the best way I've found to do this with its close relative, the Ichthyosaurus. Simply bring a group of them over and two species will begin to interact with the Shastasaurus, eventually joining the group and therefore your tribe. Once tamed, so it sounds like it's a passive tame. Once tamed, the Shastasaurus makes for an incredible beast of burden, able to carry an insane amount of weight. And due to this, a lot of survivors have constructed a special saddle on the back of this creature, which is essentially a submarine, as anyone inside it is able to breathe and survive the intense pressure of the deep ocean. The saddle also comes equipped with torpedoes that are essential for any underwater combat, as they deal heavy explosive damage. And that's not even the best part of the saddle. When the Shastasaurus surfaces above water, the saddle will transform and essentially turn the Shastasaurus into a whaling ship, coming equipped with harpoon launchers, and these harpoon come equipped with metal wiring that is attached to each harpoon. Once fired at a creature, it prevents from moving, allows survivors to easily catch creatures. This thing sounds so cool. I'm guessing, as I've mentioned as well in other videos, there is like, when Wildcard bring a creature to the game, they do keep a lot of the same similar stats and abilities. But if anything's too overpowered, they do change that if it wins the voting. So abilities and features. When underwater, Saddle acts as a submarine. Survivors will not lose oxygen or be able to build in it. Saddle fires torpedoes underwater, specific projectiles that deal heavy damage, as we've seen. Okay, so yeah, we also know about, so when the Shasta surfaces, the saddle transforms into a whaling ship where the submarine dome disappears and opens up to reveal harpoon guns and turrets, which is cool. I think that's pretty much everything we need to know there. Saddle also comes equipped with a submarine scope, allowing you to view the surface of the water while submerged. It also acts as a magnifying glass and shows the current health and torpidity of a creature. It cannot be grabbed by the Tuso due to the sheer size. It has the echolocation power, as we've mentioned, which you can highlight everything in the area. Can charge up a sonic blast with its echolocation, which disorientates enemies. Is very efficient at gathering oil from underwater oil veins and gathers black pearls effectively, which is cool. Saddle is similar to the Sarcus, saddle, and it doesn't require anything to power it and will produce oxygen in the submarine mode for no cost. The Shastasaurus can use its massive tail to create large whirlpools in the water. These can trap enemies in them for a short period of time and disorientate them. It can use a type of suction feeding to suck smaller creatures into its beak and grip hold of them. And if swarmed, the Shatter can fire off the sonic pulse that will be a concussive explosive of sound coming off that the Shatter will push all enemies back when it is being swarmed. It can only be tamed by bringing a bunch of Ichthysauruses or other Shastasauruses and putting them on wandering. Near this, it will cause the wild one to interact with those tames and slowly begin to integrate into your tribe. However, if one of its companions or the Shasta itself is hurt, the taming effectiveness will decrease, and if one of them is killed, it will no longer be tameable. And if the player attacks one of the Shasta's companions or itself, the whole group will become hostile to the player. So, yeah, I think this sounds really, really cool. This is why the first thing I just saw, I clicked on it and I thought I really want to cover this one because it definitely deserves votes. It sounds like an awesome idea. Loads of people are saying we need this. Loads of people are calling it the sea blimp. I've wanted a submarine for a while now. So that was, everyone was saying they seem to be down for an aquatic dino. So, yeah, whenever I go through the submissions so far, I've seen things like the underwater, the sea lizard, so many different things, the giant lobster, and these are all different types of things. The new fastest water mount, these are all the things we're going to be covering over the week as we do go on and as the creature submissions carries on, as there is only a week to get your submissions in. I'm a fan. I'm glad it's all surrounding around water. I'm also glad the community are all coming together to come up with different ideas that really, really make sense for these maps too. It makes every voting so much more exciting, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this does and what is the winner in the end of the center voting. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. Drop a like, subscribe if you did enjoy today's video, and I'll catch you in my next video very soon. See you guys then.